that point, first we need to find out that what is mean by positive feedback and what is mean by negative feedback. Okay, so we have seen the closed loop control system diagram. So there is one controller. Okay, then there is a process or plant or a system. So this is process. Reference input, error signal, and we take a feedback. So this should be the feedback element. Okay, so now here, as you know, this is a general closed loop system. Okay, it consists of feedback element, and that feedback element measures the output and give back to the error detector. Then that error detector take a difference or add the signal, and that signal is called as error signal, and it will be provided to the controller, and then controller control the process. Okay, so this is a general feedback system. So in uh, this is a feedback output. Okay, this is a feedback output. So when you subtract the feedback output from the reference input, at that time that feedback is called as a negative feedback. Okay, so it's just like when negative sign is there at this point, at this summing junction, so that will be the negative feedback. Okay, and such a kind of negative feedbacks are generally used in the amplifiers. It is also called as a degenerative feedback. Okay, when you study operational amplifier, that time you will see that using operational amplifier, how we create an amplifier and how we create an oscillator. Okay, so in that there are two feedbacks are used: negative feedback for amplifiers and the positive feedback for the oscillators. Okay, so and in some application they use both the feedbacks, negative as well as positive, but generally in such a system the feedback which is having large effect, uh, that system will be considered having that particular feedback effect, like for example, if positive feedback is greater than the negative feedback, so that system is considered as a positive feedback system. Okay, if the negative feedback system is greater than the positive feedback, at that time that system is considered as a negative feedback system. Okay, so such an example also you will see when you study the operational amplifiers. Okay, and when we add the feedback output with the reference input, at that time this is called as a positive feedback. So this is used in the oscillators. Okay, and it is also called as a regenerative feedback. Okay, so this is one concept about the positive and negative feedback. Okay, So when we take examples of the control systems, that time we will discuss this concept in very detail. Okay, negative feedback and positive feedback. So this is a basic idea about negative feedback and positive feedback. Okay. So next topic is transfer function. So generally, if you take any control system, so there are three mathematical representation of that control system. Okay. The first one in terms of ordinary differential equations. Okay. So if I talk about the mathematical representation of the system, representation of control system. Okay, the first one is ordinary differential equation, right? Okay, ODE. Then second one is transfer function. And third one is state space. Okay. So as you know, if you take any electrical system, okay, or any control system, that system can be represented by using the ordinary differential equation. If that system is having energy dissipating elements and energy consuming elements, sorry, energy storing element. Okay, so those systems can be represented by using the ordinary differential equation. And as we know, as the calculation become difficult or mathematical analysis become difficult in this domain, so what we use the Laplace transform to convert it into the Laplace domain, so that those ordinary differential equation can be converted into the simple algebraic equations, okay, using a Laplace transform. We have seen that particular Laplace transform, how to convert the time domain signal to the S domain signal. So what is mean by the transfer function? For example, if this is a system, or if I say this is a LTI system, linear time invariant system, okay, and this is the input of the system, this is the output of the system. R of t is the input, C of t is the output. Okay, so what is mean by transfer function? Transfer function is a ratio of Laplace transform of output signal to the Laplace transform of input signal. Okay, so it can be denoted by T of S. Okay, so Laplace transform, so I can say that C of S on R of S. So this thing is called as a transfer function. Okay, but here two main conditions are there. Okay, for which system you can calculate the transfer function. So here they mention that there are two important conditions. Okay, it will take some time, I think. Okay, so conditions for this particular thing. So what are the conditions? So that the first condition is system should be the LTI system. For LTI system only you can calculate the transfer function. Okay, so what is mean by LTI system? Linear time invariant system. Okay, and second point is initial condition should be 0. Initial condition of the system should be initial condition 0. Okay, so what is mean by this? Initial condition should be 0. If I take a simple RC network here, okay, or RC, simple electrical control system. So Vi is the input and V0 is the output. So two components are there, R and C. Now, as you know, this capacitor is an energy storing element. So it stores the uh, initial voltage, right? It stores the initial voltage. So it holds the some initial voltage, right? So if this capacitor is holding some initial voltage Vc of 0, okay, and if I apply this step signal at the input side, okay, so do you think that it will be applied linear to means output will follow linearly with the input? Output will not follow linearly with the input, right? If the Vc of 0 is not equal to 0, because here the output will be what this signal you are applying. So this is what forced signal. You have maybe you have studied this in network analysis, right? Network theory, circuit theory. Okay, so this is a force signal, and this capacitor is having some initial voltage, right? Storing some initial charge in that. Okay, so there will be some initial voltage across this capacitor. Okay, so if there is some initial voltage across this capacitor, so output will not follow linearly to this system, and you can't determine the transfer function of this system because you don't know how much, what is the initial voltage across this particular capacitor. So we are assuming that initial conditions are 0 and the initial voltage across the capacitor is a 0 volt. Okay. So that is the condition when we calculate the transfer function of the system. Okay, so initial conditions are 0. Now, linear system should be the linear. So if you consider this system, when output will follow linearly with input, when the initial conditions are 0, so that if initial conditions are 0, we can say that system is linear system. For example, if we take this system, okay, now here X is the input, Y is the output, and this is the initial condition. Okay. So now this system is non-linear system. So if you apply the superposition theorem to this, okay, if you find out the linearity of this system, you will be able to find out that this is a non-linear system. Okay, so system should be linear. Only at that time you can find out the transfer function. Okay. Next point is that it should be the time invariant. So as a time increases, or okay, as a time proceeds, systems characteristics should not get changed. Okay, so system output should not depends on a time. So because of that, what will happen, we will not predict it clearly. Okay, so you can't determine, you can't represent the system using transfer function correctly if the system is a time variant system. That's why time invariant system should be there. So overall LTI system should be there. Okay, and initial condition should be 0. All the initial conditions, so initial voltage across the capacitor or the initial current through the inductor. Okay, so these are the two main conditions. So using that you can, so for these systems only you can calculate the transfer function of the system. Okay, so this is the important point, these two conditions. So other system you can't represent the system by this mathematical representation. Okay, means using a transfer function you can't represent those systems. So these are the important points related to the transfer function. Okay, so have you understood these points?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Now the next question is, system is governed by this differential equation, okay, where x of t is the input of the system and y of t is the output of the system, okay. And they are asking that obtain the transfer function of the system. Now here you can see the differential terms are there, okay. So we need to assume that we need to obtain the transfer function of the system, right? So we need to assume that initial conditions are 0. Okay, so We need to obtain the transfer function means we need to convert this time domain signal to the Laplace domain. So I will take that signal first. So we just take that signal. Systems representation, not a signal. Okay, that is a systems representation, mathematical representation of the system. Okay, ठीक है. It's taking the time. Now, here you can apply the Laplace transform to this with the zero initial condition. As you know the differentiation property. Okay. Just a minute. What happened here? So now you can just apply. So first I will write square y of t dt square plus 6. This is the equation. Okay, so apply Laplace transform. So this will be s square y of s plus 6 into s into y of s, because we are assuming that initial conditions are 0. Y of s into x of s plus 3 into x of s. Okay, so s square plus 6s plus 4. So s plus 3 into x of s. So here y of s is the output and x of s is the input. So I just take a ratio of these two Laplace transforms. Y of s and x of s. So s plus 3, s square plus 6s plus 4. Okay, so this will be the transfer function of that particular system. Okay, so this is the transfer function of the system. So transfer function plus 3 s square plus 6s plus 4. Okay, so like this way, by converting the given differential equation into Laplace domain, and then you can find out the transfer function. Okay, so like this way, you can calculate the transfer function. So if you consider the electrical systems, right? Okay, and if you want to find out the transfer function of the electrical system, so as you know, there are three main components in the electrical system: R, L, and C, right? So any circuit is made up of these three elements. So if we see the voltage and current relationships for these components, so as you know, if you consider the R resistor, okay, so voltage relation and current relation for that particular resistor, as you know already. Then voltage across the inductor, L into di by dt. Current flowing through the inductor, 1 by L, then integration of minus infinity p dt. Okay. Then if you want to calculate the voltage across the capacitor, so that is given by this equation. Then if you want to find out the current flowing through the capacitor, So that is given by this equation, I is equal to C into dV by dt, where I is a capacitor current. Okay, so all these equation you know. So what you can do now, if this circuit is given, you can apply the KVL, okay, KVL or KCL. Then after applying that KVL and KCL, you can represent that in time domain, okay, and then you can convert into the S domain by using a Laplace transform, and then you can find out the transfer function of the system, okay. That is a one method. Other method is that you can convert this circuit into Laplace domain, and you can just apply the KVL and find out the transfer function. That is also one method is there, okay. So for that purpose, for the second method, we need to find out that what is the representation of this element in the S domain, okay, like RLC. So what is the representation of these components in S domain? So if we see the representation of elements in the S domain, so first we consider the resistor. So it is an energy dissipating element, right? So in the time domain, how we represent the resistors? So IR of T is the current flowing through the resistors, and VR of T is the voltage across this resistor. Okay. So in the time domain, what will be the voltage across these resistors? IR of T into R, right? And if you convert this into the frequency domain, so nothing is changed in the resistance, okay? So just here the voltage across the Laplace transform of VR of T is a VR of S, and Laplace transform IR of T is a IR of S, okay? So voltage across, so here you can see the S domain equation for that particular voltage, okay. So like this way in the S domain, so if you take a Laplace transform of this equation in time domain equation, so in the Laplace domain you will get this equation, right? Because it is independent of that particular frequency. So it is a linear element, right? Okay. So this is about the resistors. So in the S domain you can represent resistor like that. Then if we consider the inductor, so inductor is what? It is an energy storing element, right? Okay. So if we consider in time domain the circuit diagram like this, so here L is the inductor value, okay. Then IL of T is a current flowing through the inductor, and VL of T is voltage across the inductor. So what will be the voltage equation in time domain? That will be L DIL by dt. And if you apply the Laplace transform to this, so what will be the S domain equation? VL of S is equal to SL into IL of S, because a differentiation is time domain, you multiply that particular signal's Laplace transform by S in the S domain. Okay, so if you build the circuit using this particular S domain equation, so in the S domain you can see that so the impedance here will be the SL, right? And the current flowing through that impedance will be IL of S, and voltage across that particular impedance will be VL of S. Okay, so this will be the S domain representation of. So you just need to multiply L by SL, okay, and you need to convert these two time domain signal to the Laplace domain signal, okay. This is an inductor representation in S domain. So if you talk about the capacitor, okay, so capacitor is also energy storing element, right? So here, so C is a capacitor value, and IC of T is a current flowing through the capacitor. Similarly, this VC of T is a voltage across this capacitor. And in the time domain, you know the current flowing through the capacitor will be C into dVC by dt. Okay, so where Vc is a voltage across the capacitor. So if we apply the LT to this, so in the S domain, what will happen? So we are taking the differentiation in the time domain. So in the S domain, we multiply the LT of that particular signal by S. So current flowing through the capacitor in the S domain will be IC of S is equal to SC VC of S. Okay, so like that way you can represent element in S domain like this, 1 upon SC impedance. Okay, so this is the S domain representation of the capacitor. You just need to replace that C with 1 by SC. Okay, so like this way you can represent these three elements in the S domain. So it will be helpful for you to find out the transfer function. So let us move to our problems. We need to find out the transfer function of this particular series RLC network. Okay, so so what I will do, I will first I will apply the KVL in time domain. Okay, so I will just apply the KVL for this particular circuit. So now in this circuit, my input is voltage and output is also voltage. Okay, so my transfer function of this circuit will be Laplace transform of V naught divided by Laplace transform of Vi, right? Because here my input is voltage, output is also voltage. Okay, so I will just apply the KVL here. So apply KVL, Kirchhoff's voltage law, right? So so Vi of t, right? So as we apply the KVL, so the I will be the current through the loop, that particular loop, right? So Vi of t is equal to I of t is the current. Okay. So I of t into R plus voltage across the inductor plus voltage across the capacitor, right? So what is the voltage across the inductor as we know? L into what is the current flowing through the inductor? I. So differentiation of that current, L into di by dt. Okay, and what is the current? What is the voltage across this capacitor? What is the current flowing through that? I. Okay, so 1 by C integration of minus infinity to t. Okay, I of t dt. So this will be the what? Voltage across the capacitor. Okay, so like this way you can find out the time domain equation. Okay, so now if I want to convert this time domain equation to the S domain, so I can apply Laplace transform on this. So in Laplace domain, Pi of S, okay, so I of S into R. So as we know, in differentiation in time domain, we multiply the Laplace transform I of t by S. So this will be SL I of S plus, similarly here, integration in time domain, we multiply that particular signal's Laplace, we divide that particular Laplace signal's Laplace transform by S. So that will be 1 by C I of S by S. Okay, so like this way, now here you can take I of S common. Okay, so that will be R plus SL plus 1 by SC, right? So this will be I of S. So if I say this as a equation number 1, so I apply the KVL on the in the input loop, right? So what is V naught of S? That is a current flowing through the capacitor. Okay, so uh, so that is voltage across the that is the current flowing through the capacitor into impedance, right? Capacitor or voltage across the capacitor. So V naught of t will be Vc of t only. So what is the Vc of t? 1 by C minus infinity into t I of t dt. Okay, so as we know, if we use apply LT to this Laplace transform, Okay, so I am applying Laplace transform to this particular time domain equation. So that will be V naught of S, okay, 1 by SC into I of S. So this will be my second equation. So I will just put I of S value into this, okay. So that will be by putting I of S into equation 1, okay. So that will be Vi of S, V naught of S into SC R plus SL plus 1 upon SC, okay. And if you just a minute, huh? Okay, so if you simplify this, find out the ratio of output by input. So that will be 1 upon SC R plus SL plus 1 by SC, okay. So you can take that inside SCR, okay, SC inside, so S square LC plus 1. So this is the transfer function of the particular system or series RLC circuit, okay. So here also we assume that initial conditions are 0, okay. So like that way we have found out the transfer function of this electrical network or this series RLC network, okay. So by using this mathematical equation, you can just analyze your system, okay. So like that way you can find out the transfer function of the systems. Now if we consider the second example here, okay. So here I will apply the S-domain technique directly, okay. So what I will do, the second technique, so I will just convert that circuit into S domain and will directly calculate the transfer function by using a potential divider rule. So if I convert this circuit in time S domain, okay, so Vi of S, V naught of S will be the output, so R2 R1, okay, and this will be 1 by SC capacitor, right, okay. So here this will be the Z1 impedance, okay, and this will be the Z2, this overall series combination. So as you know, according to the potential divider rule or voltage divider rule, so if you apply the voltage divider rule here, according to voltage divider rule, so V naught of S upon Vi of S will be what? Z2 upon Z2 plus Z1, okay. So what is a Z2? But Z2 is, so here I will mention what is a Z2, that is R2 plus 1 by SC, and what is a Z1? Z1 is R1. So you just put those values here. So R2 plus 1 by SC, okay, R2 plus 1 by SC plus R1, okay. So now if you simplify this, so SC R2 plus 1, okay, R1 plus R2 into SC plus 1, okay. So this will be the transfer function of the system, okay. So like this way you can calculate the transfer function of the system. So here we have converted that particular circuit into S domain. Okay, and then we just applied the voltage divider rule and we find it out the transfer function. Similarly, you can apply that to the third example. So here third example is like this. So you just convert into S domain the circuit. Vi of S, okay, V naught of S, then R1, R2 and 1 by SC. So similarly, if I say this as a Z1 and this as a Z2, so same circuit, okay, potential divider. But here Z1 is what? That is a parallel combination of this capacitor and this resistor, right? So Z1 here is 1 by SC parallel with R1, okay. So that will be 1 by SC into R1, 1 by SC plus R1, okay. That will be like this. This will be the Z1. And what is the Z2? Z2 is R2. Okay. So here if you apply the voltage divider rule, okay. So here V naught of S and Vi of S will be Z2 upon Z2 plus Z1. Okay. So like this way, and just you put the values here. R2 plus R1 upon 1 plus SC into R1. So one plus SC into R1 into R2. So R2 1 plus SC into R1 plus R1, right? Okay, and you can simplify it further if you want to. So that will okay, so that will be R2 plus SC R1 R2 plus R1. Okay, so you can take this term as a common and just you can mention it. So we will see what is meant by time constant form and others. For time being, just see it. So we need to represent the equation in terms of time constant form. We will see that particular thing. So here you just need to know that how to find out the particular transfer function. Okay. So you can take this fourth example as a homework problem and you can solve that particular thing. Okay. So there are two options. First keep this circuit in time domain only and find out the differential equation for this and then convert into Laplace transform, or you can use you can convert the circuit first into S domain, and then you can apply the KVL, okay, or KCL, whatever you want to, okay. Then the question fifth is, the step response of the system is t into e raised to minus t. What will be the transfer function of the system? Okay. We have seen the impulse response, right? So when we apply impulse signal to system, and whatever the output we are getting, that is called as the impulse response of the system. Similarly, what is meant by step response? So we need to find out the transfer function of the system, okay? We have only the step response of the system with us. So if this is a system, so when we apply the unit step signal as an input, or step signal as an input, I am considering here unit step. Unit step means amplitude is 1. When you apply the step signal to this particular system, whatever the output we are getting, that output is called as a step response. So what is the statement here? Step response of the system is t into e raised to minus t. Okay. So unit step response of the system is t raised to minus t. So when we apply the unit step, output will be t into e raised to minus t. Okay. So what will be the transfer function of the system? So what is the transfer function of this particular LTI system? Okay. So here, first, the main important point here, as we have seen the impulse response of the system. Okay. So transfer function is a Laplace transform of impulse response of a system. Okay. So what is mean by impulse response? When we apply impulse as an input and whatever the output we are getting. This is a system. When we apply the impulse, whatever the output we are getting, that is the impulse response of the system. Okay. And generally, if we take a differentiation of the step response, okay, am I audible? There was a network issue that was, so is this one note visible? Am I audible properly?
Yes, sir, you're audible.
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Yes,
So,
sir.
thank you. Okay, so if you take a differentiation of the step response, we get this impulse response of the system. Okay, and if you take a Laplace transform of the impulse response of the system, we get the transfer function. Okay, so this app is causing problem. We need to change this app. Okay. So here step response is t into e raised to minus t. So impulse response will be so d by dt. Step response is t into e raised to minus t. T into e raised to minus t. Okay. So here, so derivative will be right. This is the impulse response of the system. Impulse response of the system is also represented by this common notation, very widely used notation. This is h of t. So I can say this as h of t. Okay. So, and as these are the control systems are causal systems, so I am not representing u of t with it. Okay. So by default it is u of t only. So this is the impulse response of the system. And what is the transfer function? Transfer function is Laplace transform of that particular impulse response. Okay, so that will be 1 upon s plus 1. So I just mention here Laplace of h of t, and this will be minus 1 upon s plus 1 square, right? Okay, so this will be s plus 1 minus 1 s plus 1 square, so s upon s plus 1 square. Okay, so this will be the transfer function of the system, right? Okay, this is the final answer. So like this way you can find out the transfer function if the step response of the system is given. Okay. There are other identities also, means if we talk about the other identities, so here I will just mention. So if we take d by dt of ramp response or differentiation of ramp response, what you will get? Can anyone tell me? Anyone is having any idea about this? The ramp response means when we apply ramp signal to the system. So what we will get?
Square.
1 by s cube.
No, unit step response we will get, na? Step response.
Yes, yes.
So like this way, this identity also you can apply. So why they are saying that when you apply the impulse signal to the system, we are getting, and if we take a Laplace transform of impulse response of system, we get a transfer function, right? So if you talk about any LTI system, so if you talk about this LTI system, so here if h of t is the impulse response of the system, right? Okay, and this we are applying del of t and we are getting the impulse response as output. Why? Because if I say y of t is output, so this is the LTI system, so output of this LTI system is given by convolution of these two, right, transfer function of the impulse response of the signal, impulse response of the system into input signal, convolution of these two, h of t and this one. And as you know, the convolution in the time domain, there will be the multiplication in the frequency domain, right? So h of s will be the LT of h of t, and as you know, the LT of impulse is 1. Okay, and this will be y of s, right? So as an output, we are getting a transfer function. Okay, so here h of s is what? We can say y of s upon 1. Okay, so y of s upon whatever the input we have applied, that Laplace transform, inputs Laplace transform. So like this way, they say that the impulse, if you take a Laplace transform of impulse response of the system, we get a transfer function. Okay, so like this way you can solve such a problems. Generally, such a kinds of problem are asked in the GATE exam. Okay, but it will be helpful if you know the concept very well. So these are the GATE questions only. So some of the GATE questions are there. So a step response of a LTI system. So problem number 6. The step response of a LTI system is 1 minus e raised to minus 3t. If signal 3u of t plus del of t is applied, what will be the response of the system? Okay, so now they have given the step response of the system, right? And they are asking that when we apply this particular signal, this particular input signal to system, what will be the output of the system or response of the system? So first task here is what you can do. As you know, if this is a LTI system, can you try this problem? Can you solve this? Anyone can give me the idea how to solve this particular problem? Can anyone have any idea how to solve this particular problem? Just think of it. 1 minute, then we will solve it. Anyone? Okay. So here step response is given, system step response is given. As you know, if you find out the transfer function of the system, okay, or if you find out the impulse response of the system, so by taking the Laplace okay, or we can say by finding the transfer function of the system, we can just multiply the input signal with that transfer function, and we can calculate the output response of the system. Okay, so here as we have seen that if we take a derivative of step response, we get an impulse response of the system. Okay, and if we take a Laplace transform of impulse response of the system, we get a transfer function. So here step response is this. So I mentioned here step response. So 1 minus e raised to minus 3t. This will be the step response. So what will be the impulse? Impulse response will be the derivative of this. Okay, so that will be this. Okay, so if I take a Laplace transform of impulse response, so Laplace transform of 3 into e raised to minus 3t, I get a transfer function. And what is the mean by transfer function? Laplace transform of output divided by Laplace transform of input, ratio of these two. So this will be 3 upon s plus 3. So this is the transfer function of the system. Okay, and they are saying that their input signal is 3u of t plus del of t. So we need to convert that input signal into Laplace domain, and then we just need to multiply it with the transfer function to get the output. So okay, just we'll complete. Now what is the transfer function here? Output upon input, right? Laplace transform of output upon input. So what is the input here? So input here is 3u of t plus del of t. So if we take a LT of this, so that will be the LT of input. Okay, so that will be 3 by s plus 1. So if I simplify this, this will be like this. Okay, so what will be the output? So LT of output will be transfer function into LT of input. Okay, so here you consider LT only. LT, okay, LT of output upon LT of input. So what is the transfer function? 3 upon s plus 3. And what is the LT of input here? S plus 3 upon s. So s plus 3 get cancelled. There will be 3 of by s. Okay. And if you take inverse Laplace transform of this, you will get a equation in the time domain. Okay. So like this way, output in time domain will be 3 into u of t. So this will be the response of the system. Okay, for that particular input. Response of system. Okay, so like this way you can calculate the response of the system.